Jack Hanma has spent his entire life chasing strength, training far beyond his limits, taking copious amounts of steroids, and performing many surgeries to give him that edge in battle. He was defeated by his brother, his father, Pickle 2 times, and Motobe, requiring Jack to accept defeat and grow in power even more. He is now happy with his size and physique as well. He's developed his own unique martial art that is without a doubt dangerous. Everyone recognizes his strength now, even Yujiro Hanma, who is still looking for a challenge, the fight to the death, to test himself and give a fight everything he has. Baki did give him some fun, which is unlikely to happen again. Masashi Miyamoto had the ogre losing his mind with excitement, but he is no longer around. Jack is here, willing to fight anyone to gain power, and the ogre now respects his strength. They meet and have dinner, edging themselves and us as the fandom, thinking they're really about to fight right now, after only 20 chapters into the new manga. However, that is not the case, at least for now. Baki Rahen returns on the 6th of June, the same time as we're getting the Baki Hanma vs Kengan Ashura anime film, and much more exciting stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, as I was recently hacked, and of course I hope you enjoy. Alright boys, so we got cucked out of actually getting Yujiro vs Jack now. It was only Yujiro slapping Jack once, and then a whole chapter dedicated to pretty much glazing Jack at a low-key level, which is, you know, lovely to see. I do believe this is for the best. Jack had previously called out all these other fighters first. His overall goal is to be the strongest creature alive. Of course, he'll need to face all the others before taking on Yujiro Hanma. So my prediction in my previous videos going over how this is probably just subtle build up throughout the arc that we're going to keep getting for Yujiro vs Jack, which is a good approach and quite enjoyable, but we have a lot to go over. So something I was incorrect about in regards to the previous chapter, I thought Yujiro Hanma used Bender on Jack. However, this was not the case. It was just a regular slap. I messed up the scenes of pretty much the comparison between Baki vs Yujiro and Jack vs Yujiro. Initially, Yujiro did a similar thing to Baki, screaming attention and then slapping him out of the window. Then later on in that fight, I believe a few chapters later, all within the same anime episode, we had the whole Bender exchanges between the two. However, for the situation between Jack and Yujiro, Jack does not go flying out the window. He doesn't even make it through the window itself. That's because pretty much the hotel staff ended up upgrading the window after what happened last time, which is pretty funny and honestly one of the best comedic moments we've had in Baki recently. However, the power of Yujiro's slap here was once again strong enough to, I believe, shake the whole skyscraper and make people think an earthquake is actually occurring. So another feat added to pretty much the endless list at this point of earthquake-like feats of like Yujiro and other Baki characters doing something that has people thinking an earthquake's occurring, perhaps making Yujiro's earthquake stopping feat more consistent once again. Many comments about the previous chapter I saw on my other video. People were saying they were disappointed in Jack already crying from this slap. In this chapter, it isn't a major point. Jack tanked the blow without any difficulty, and then the remainder of the chapter was pretty much dedicated to hyping up Jack. It was more so Jack getting slapped on his backside being symbolic of being punished by his father. That's why he ended up dropping a single tear, similar to Yujiro, who pretty much laughed his way into crying as well. Or if you remember back during Baki vs Yujiro, when Yujiro put his hand like patting Baki, Baki couldn't control but to cry after, you know, getting disaffection from his father. I did enjoy the panel of Jack just chilling inside the window, enjoying the amazing view, while Yujiro begins glazing his son. So the hotel staff dude was pretty much worried that this may have actually killed Jack, and then Yujiro's like, falling 40 floors wouldn't kill that guy anyway, so it just doesn't really matter. Which is once again another moment of Yujiro showing respect for Jack. Times have truly changed since like a year ago where Yujiro, for what we knew, hated Jack, had no respect for him. And naturally, Jack is a fan of what Yujiro says. However, it seems to be more in a condescending way. He's being a smartass about it, being like, this guy would never fall to his death, talking about himself, whether it's 100 meters or 200 meters. Similar to how Yujiro is pretty much hyped by other characters, or even the narrator in Baki, how he's pretty much the strongest creature alive. Him versus any other animal, the odds would be 1 to 1 million, stuff like that. Jack is pretty much doing that for himself after what Yujiro says here, which is what makes current Jack's character absolutely goated. His confidence is off the charts. Like, he continues saying a similar thing over and over, being like, yeah, if I was to fall onto the ground, the pavement would be the one that would lose in that battle. Jack is absolutely goated, thanking his father for the dinner and then taking his leave. And then while alone, he's still gassing himself up like an absolute delusional boy, saying, if I did fall from that floor, I would have completely ruined the pavement. Yeah, true. And then that would of course not be good. If we're being realistic, looking at the Baki character's scaling, this is probably what would actually happen, but just the way he's saying it in the specific manner is hilarious. But the big question we have now, since Jack isn't fighting Yujiro currently, is who is Jack's next opponent? Who is going to face the biting cyborg? He defeated Kosho, and these are the people on screen now that he's already called out. We can remove Baki, as I don't think many people believe that's going to happen this early. Pickle someone he's been foreshadowed as having a rematch against, but he hasn't called him out specifically, so I don't think Pickle will be next. Out of this bunch, the weakest fighter is Gaia. So if Jack wants to, go down the power scaling within the Buckyverse, Gaia is the most logical choice. It's also a possibility he could go the rematch route. Motobe as the one Jack credited as a key reason that he went down the path of the Way of the Biting, creating his new martial art, Gaudo, and of course his titanium teeth. Motobe had an insane performance in the Musashi arc. He didn't do anything in the Sumo arc, so it's been quite some time since he's had a fight. I would love to see that rematch, but perhaps that should be a little later on, considering the importance of Motobe in regards to the creation of current Jack. The other possible rematch is Goki. They faced one another in the Maximum Tournament pretty much 20 plus years ago when it comes to the Baki manga serialization. I believe even over 25 years ago now. I would love to see that fight. Goki is still a monster and one of the biggest trolls in the Buckyverse. Will definitely bring up a challenge, but we'll have to wait and see. Then we have the fighters who he's never faced before, Doppo and Katsumi. Considering the narrative within the story currently, Doppo should be fighting Jack before Katsumi. Katsumi should be above Doppo now. He has the Retsu arm, a lot more narrative, pushing for Katsumi being stronger and being a more important character. Doppo also had a major role in facing Kosho prior to him facing Jack, setting him up as pretty much the next fighter to me personally when looking at the story. Doppo also slayed Keiha. Jack slayed Sukune, so the battle of the Sumo Slayers would be pretty good. Doppo's always down for a fight, therefore he will remain as my prediction for who Jack is going to face next, and who he should really face next, unless it's going to be Gaia, which is pretty much my second option. Additionally, since Jack faced Kosho and this sword dude, him fighting others he didn't exactly call out is even more likely. So him having a match with Hanayama and Oliver is definitely at a higher chance now, and is definitely fights we would all love to see. Hanayama has been done dirty in Baki Rahen so far, so he needs some redemption, that's for sure. And Oliver is similar to Jack to a degree, as someone who recently got stronger and is now back at the top of his game potentially. Therefore, while it's a little unfortunate that Yujiro vs Jack didn't happen right now, it definitely will in the future without a doubt, and we have many more fights to look forward to. Lastly, while the channel was in the hacked state and got terminated over the last week, I was also working on this new partnership in the background for the channel, Gamersubs, with my own 10% discount code for all of you mad lads to use to get all these amazing products. Definitely recommend checking out the link in the description, and of course shout out to these legends, these mad lads, and that's it guys, peace.